was like a female Oliver Twist, a little chimney sweep. No, do you know what? Like, it's funny because, it was pretty hard going growing up. I was raised by a single mum who did an amazing job. She had me a week after her 18th birthday.
Yeah, she was a baby.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know how on earth she did it.
Yeah.
2 kids by the age of 21, and here I am at 35 going, one is hard enough.
Yeah.
But we lived in housing commission houses and caravan parks growing up because we didn't have a lot of money.
Yeah.
Mum did the best she could. She worked when she could. She did a bit of bartending for a while. Very, very smart. She went back to uni, went to uni and started studying teaching as well because she wanted to improve her life. But that's bloody hard when you're raising 2 kids on your own, on a pension as well. So, look, it was kind of tough, and it.
Did it feel tough in the moment, or was
no,
it kind
we don't know anything else.
Yeah.
I just kind of, there was, the kind of weird stuff that you knew wasn't right. Like, you weren't allowed to play in the backyard of some of the housing commission houses because, people were doing drugs in the alleyway behind. It would throw syringes into the backyard.
Wow,
and you just went, okay, well, we can't play in the backyard. And you knew that was kind of wrong.
Right.
But I don't know, like, it just, when you're a kid, as long as you've got love around you, everything's okay.
Yeah. What about school? Was it rough as well, or was
Do you know what? I can't really remember much of my schooling in Sydney.
Right.
I moved to Queensland when I was 7.
Yeah.
And I actually still remember my mum, she packed up the Sigma one day and said, right, we're moving to Queensland. And I was like Scott and Charlene? And she's like, yeah, like Scott and Charlene, we're moving to Queensland. My grandparents lived up there, so it was fantastic to be around some family.
Yeah.
No, school was fantastic, and school was really the making of me. I just became a massive nerd. I wasn't a popular kid. I was quite shy, like ridiculous perfectionist at school, to the point of it would just... Like, I was a bit kind of, I don't know, a bit nuts when it came to schoolwork. I was just so, kind of desperate to make a better life for myself. And my mum would say this all the time. She would say, you don't want to be here. You don't want to be in the situation where you're living week to week in a caravan park. You need to study hard. You need to do well in life so you aren't in this position. And I think, that is what made me strive. So I was this overachieving kid, and I wasn't a very relaxed kid. I was super stressed. And I actually remember once in high school, an English teacher who, was one of the most amazing people that I reckon I've ever met in my life. And she put me onto this incredible path of where I am now. She fostered my writing, and she actually got me a work experience place at Channel 7. She gave me this little poem. It was all about, stopping to smell the roses and that type of thing. And she said, you've got to stop being so hard on yourself. You need to relax into it. And I think when you're really hard on yourself and you push yourself too much, things don't come as easily. And people can almost smell the desperation in a way or something. I don't know. Sometimes you can get too much in your own way. Yeah. Get out of your own way and just kind of change the way you think about it. And I think, it took me a long time, and I'm still trying to learn, but you just got to come from a place of where you just really enjoy something and you're happy in it. That's enough. And success kind of finds its way from there. Gee, I really gave you a long answer to that.
I liked it though. I'm like, going back to being a stressed kid, I look back and go, I've always been a stress head.
Yeah, always.
I don't even know why.
I don't remember a time as a kid where, I was this happy-go-lucky kid. I was always super worried about things and a little bit preoccupied by death. Were you like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
I spent most of my life worrying that my grandpa was going to die.
Oh.
Like, honestly. And then people around me die. I would worry about stuff like that. And I got so obsessed with touching wood. If I'd have a thought, I'd go, touch wood, touch wood.
Wow.
Like obsessive, bit weird. And I had to go cold turkey on touch wood because I was touching wood like 24/7.
Oh, I remember.
You weren't that crazy, were you?
No, but I found this old book. It was a kid's book, and it was like an encyclopedia of various things. And under N, it was, nuclear war. And I'd scribbled it out and, tried to get rid of all traces of this nuclear war in the book because I was so terrified about it happening. Like I was it was very, very odd, but these carefree childhoods.
Yeah. No. It's overthinking.
Always.
Are you still
and definitely
doing
and a bit of anxiety as well.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can catastrophize with the best of them. I'm just like, I always think like one of my biggest fears is that we're going to lose our house.
Right.
So I've never owned property until like 3 years ago.
Right.
When my husband and I got married, we bought a place together. And, I think because I spent so much time living in caravan parks and house commission houses, and then, moving between share houses when you're single and that type of thing, I probably would have lived in maybe 50 different places over the years.
Oh my goodness, God.
So now I've finally got this foundation, these bricks and mortar around me. Not that I own it, but somewhere kind of safe. And I'm just terrified that we're going to lose the house.
Yeah.
I'll say something stupid on air, and then I'll come home and I'll ruminate about it and think about it and think about it and think about it and think about it, and I'll go, all right, well, that's obvious that, that the boss is going to call me in and he's going to say that I don't have a job anymore, and then I'm going to lose my job, and then how am I going to pay the mortgage, and then we're going to lose the house.
Yeah,
and it's just like, oh my God, my husband goes, how did you get to that? What is going on in that brain of yours?
Yeah.
And that's what I kind of love about him, because he's so logical and sensible and pragmatic. He just goes, you're nuts. You need to pull it back.
Yeah.
But it's funny if you're left with your own thoughts.
Where they can take you.
Oh, man.
But that goes back to, it's something happens when you're so young, and then that decision's made, and then you live out your whole, which you would have done a million times with your counsellor and stuff. You live out your whole life with that decision you made as a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
So then if a little bit of shit goes wrong when you're that young, it takes a lot of undoing.
I know.
And a lot of work to go,
So
you're actually not going to
therapy.
lose your house,
I know. But then you go, I don't know, and it's that whole thing of, my shrink often says to me, you need to look at the evidence. Where's the evidence? You're a journalist. It's like, well, it's not beyond reason or beyond the pale that perhaps I do say something stupid on air, living in a day and age where everyone is perpetually offended by everything all the time, that if I did say something, that suddenly there might be a Twitter backlash and people would be calling for me to lose my job. Do you know what I mean? And she's like, you've got to look at this rationally. I'm like, but I'm irrational all the time.
I know.
It's weird. I just finished reading Sarah Wilson's book.
Yeah, right.
First We Make the Beast Beautiful, which is all about anxiety. And the way she looks at her anxiety is, she could say, look, it's this debilitating, crippling condition that stops me from doing all sorts of things. But she also says, my anxiety is the reason why I'm this A-type personality who is fastidious with research, who is such a perfectionist. This is why she's gone on to have a best-selling book. Do you know what I mean? So there's flip sides to everything, and it's always where you shine the light. And which side of the coin you choose to look at.
Totally. Your best is always your worst too. Like I'm hyper-focused, which drives my partner crazy, but then sometimes it's like, that's the best thing ever, because it's like, we want to do this, it gets done, you know, but then he'll be trying to talk to me and I can't hear him. You know?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Hyper-focused. I've been talking to my counsellor about it, because I'm like, it's actually starting to be a pain in the ass, because I can't. Because you were saying that what do you say that you have? Avoidance personality. We're almost the opposite in that.
Well, I think part of the reason why is that I think, and I don't think I'm a perfectionist anymore,
right.
But I'm still sort of driven a little bit by perfectionist kind of ideas, and if I don't do things perfectly, I can't do them at all.
Right.
So I'll put things off and I'll procrastinate because I can't just do it perfectly.
Yeah, okay,
Jessica Rowe has actually been brilliant with sort of just going, you just need to do it, just bash it out, just get it done, you know. And sometimes, you know, what sort of drives me is this, you know, this kind of ability to do things really, really well, but also the pressure to do things really, really well can also paralyze me into inaction.
Right.
You're just going, you know, I can't do anything. You know, I can't take that first step, or
Yeah.
or even answer that email because I know I've got to sit down and write a proper, thought out, witty response to it, and I just can't do it, so I just ignore it.
Yeah.
I have 65 unanswered text messages on my phone right
See,
now.
that gives me full anxiety.
65.
See, I'm like, I have a to-do list and I'm like, I've got to get it off, got to get it off, got to get it, got to get it. And so even if it's just, I'm like almost the opposite. Even if it's done, shit's off my list, not my problem.
Oh, see, I wish I could be like that.
No,
I wish I
then
could just do it.
I can't go to bed without going, oh, I didn't get that off my list. I didn't get that off my list.
But I just have this constant sense of, foreboding over me that I've got this stuff to do, and that people will then think I'm, just shit at what I do and flaky because I haven't replied to an email or whatever. And it looks really rude if you're looking from the outside in. You're like, well,
just get back to me.
Yeah, just flicking an like it is insane. It's insane.
Funny in our minds.
Tom wrote this little card for me with "Just do it." And put it in my wallet, and he's like, "Stop thinking about it, just do it."
Yeah, Nike babe.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. I wish I could be one of these people that does lists and gets things done quickly, but I just get in my own way so much. I need to work on that. I need to work on it. This feels like a therapy session.
I know. I'm so sorry. You're going to go out here all stressed. We were talking about imposter syndrome, which you have spoken about, at the recent Logies. You were talking about how you were walking the red carpet and you were sitting there and you were nominated for a Logie, and you felt like you were an imposter there.
Yeah. I did. I mean, when it even first came out, I was really embarrassed by it.
Really?
Well, first of all, overwhelmed that people would vote for me, and then there's this negative voice in your head that goes, you don't deserve this. I actually read a book just recently, and the main girl in it describes it as shame FM on constant loop,
Wow.
So this radio station telling you that you're not good enough, and that you should be ashamed of yourself. It's just weird, like really weird stuff. So I'd worked myself into such a panic about it, and I knew that I was never going to win, but I'd become so, what am I trying to say? I'd worked myself into such a state over it. I didn't even enjoy the night.
Yeah.
I just didn't kind of let it go and just go, what will be, will be. I don't know. I found it so hard to reconcile in my head that it was true, that it was real.
Yeah,
I don't know. And the red carpet as well is just a whole another kettle of fish, because it's hot, it's fast, it's busy. I don't know how to pose on the red carpet. Like, I don't know how I always look constipated and like super uncomfortable. Like, I'm just sort of like, hey. And we kind of got rushed down it. And I don't know. I'm used to being the journo on the other side, asking the questions, not sort of being asked things. And I don't know, it was just full on. And then I didn't get to enjoy it. And then I got so pissed off at myself for getting myself to a stage where I just made such a big deal about it in my mind that I just didn't have a good night.
Yeah, and you didn't get to soak it up and go, this is incredible. Because you have worked your ass off to get it. It's not like overnight you've just become nominated.
Yeah.
You did your hard yards as well. You didn't go on, and mind you, a lot of my best friends did go on Big Brother and now have great careers, but you didn't just do a reality show and then you're on a desk. You know what I mean?
Is there ever a point where we don't feel like imposters as women?
I don't know. I wish there was. But then you know what gives me power sometimes is going, also, say, for example, running this site, I have no fucking idea what we're doing. But then people like you come in and go, you guys are killing it. And we're like, in our head, we're like, you have no fucking idea. We have no idea what we're doing. So then I figure everyone around me is kind of the same. Do you know what I mean?
Everyone is making it up.
Yes.
And I think we need to, and I think it really helps as well when, particularly women, are more honest with each other about it, and, some people are just lucky enough to have that inner confidence that is just, I mean, I look at those women and I go, what is your secret? But, 9 times out of 10 they say, it's literally smoke and mirrors. Yeah. I'm doing the best I can. I'm like a duck on a, pond. You know, the feet are like this underneath, but up top I'm cool, calm and collected. And, you know, I go home and I lose my shit like everyone else. And I think that can really help.
I think so, my goodness,
Well, I remember seeing, I think I was maybe 20 or something, seeing Lisa Wilkinson speak. Right. It was way before she was on the Today Show, but I'd always looked up to her. And I think when I first learned about imposter syndrome, it was from a speech that she'd done. And I went, she has imposter syndrome? And so it kind of, you know, made me go, well, that's okay then, you know, but still you've got to give yourself a talking to.
You do,
and it would kick up the bum as much as you can because you forget.
Totally. And I don't think it's anything guys like have. Do you think they have that?
No, they don't. Okay, so for example, I had to do this. I'm an ambassador for the Smith family, and I had to do a speech for some kids, and it was like 7 minutes. I am on television every single day and, you know, host a 2.5 hour show. And for some reason, I was really nervous about this 7-minute speech in front of high school kids. I think it's because I really wanted to do a good job. And then my husband, he was on the other side of the world at the time. He was at a big Microsoft conference where he was picked to speak on a panel in front of 5,000 people. And I said, I'm feeling really nervous here. I'm sorry for just, you know, going on and on about it. How are you feeling about your panel chat tomorrow? And he goes, oh, I'll be excellent. I'm just so good at what I do. Like, I'm sweet. I'm fine.
Oh, I love that.
I'm excellent. I'm like, oh my God, to even have a tiny bit of that, just this kind of, who cares?
I know.
It would be...
Oh, that gives me good... Imagine the freedom in that.
I think it's partly because he has red hair. I tell you, no, this
he's had a rough run his whole life.
Do you know what? I think because he's and he says he's like, because when he was little, he had Coke bottle glasses, braces, and bright red hair. I'm not talking like just, you know, like a lovely auburn. I'm talking Ronald McDonald red. And he's like, I had no other choice but to get confident and learn how to fight.
Wow.
And he just, his kind of sense of self is something to behold. And
it's so attractive, isn't it?
It is so attractive. Infuriating at times, but mostly so attractive. And I really hope that my little boy, Paul, he gets that. And because it is, you know, you're 10 steps in front of everyone else if you've got that sort of confidence.
And why shouldn't we at the same time? Do you know what I mean? Sometimes I feel fucking awesome though. Sometimes I feel like I am flying here. And then the other day I caught myself being a real Debbie Downer around my partner Sam. And I said to him, this is so unattractive, because if this was you saying this to me about yourself, I'd be like, pull yourself together.
Would you?
Yeah, if he was there going, I feel a bit fat and I'm like, just, you know, I'm just feeling really this and that, I'd be like, gross, man. Like, it's not that attractive. I don't have much. I don't have much of that.
So you're more of a tough love sort of gal.
He has to say to me, you know what, you need to nurture me now. Like, he has to say that to me, because I don't have that in me. Like, you'll be right. Stop.
Wow.
But I want to be
good in
nurtured.
a way. Isn't that good in a way, though, to kind of have that tough love approach? Because sometimes you just throw yourself these pity parties and you just need to pull your head out of your ass and get on with life.
Yeah, but I throw myself a pity party. I don't want anyone throwing them around me, though.
No, right.
Do you know what I mean? That's
it's okay if you do it, but no one else. Well, it's funny because, when I, you know, was pregnant and, you know, if I'm having a fat day or whatever, I'd go, I'm disgusting. And Tom would be like, stop saying that. Like, and you do not say that around our children. You're an adult now. You have to set a good example. You need to be responsible for what you put out in the world.
Which is so true.
Damn right I do.
Yeah.
You know what? Like, I do need to, you know, pick my act up when it comes to that sort of thing. And especially in terms of body image as well. Like, I've just started watching. You know, we have lots of young stylists at Channel 10, and, you know, if you're having a fat day, you're looking at yourself as going, you don't want to say it in front of them, because you want them to know that, you know, the size of your bum doesn't matter. It's what comes out of your mouth that's important.
Of course.
You know?
Totally, yeah. And I worry about, you know, I'm so conscious of my boys growing up with a healthy relationship with food. I don't want them to have any thoughts of food besides going, this is going to make me full, this is going to nourish my body. And so the wording around the food and my body and stuff like that, I'm so conscious of, because I don't want it to be even, I don't want them to waste a second thinking about that stuff.
Oh, it's so boring.
So boring.
It's so boring.
Yeah.
And I find myself so annoyed when I go back to that place.
Yeah.
You think,
Yeah.
am I still here?
Yeah.
Am I actually still here?
Yeah.
I think you and I both wrote a piece for a book called The First 6 Weeks.
Yes, Jamila Rizvi's book.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah.
And, you know, I write about the fact that, you know, I went through this pretty hairy pregnancy where I put on 25 kilos and, you know, I was chased down the street. Well, she wasn't chased down the street by Paps. Paps would get me. I never see them. And they took all these unflattering photos of me and, you know, there was all this commentary about my weight and da-da-da-da-da. And then I, you know, used my platform on Studio 10 to tell the fat shamers
You
to
did
get
an
stuffed.
incredible job.
You know, so outwardly I was sort of saying, you know, this shouldn't matter, this shit shouldn't matter because, you know, you're growing a baby and blah, blah, blah. And then like 8 weeks after my baby's born, here I am trying to pull up these post-pregnancy compression tights to get a smaller stomach.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're a joke. You know, you've said that, you know, this stuff doesn't matter and your baby's asleep next to you and you're writhing on the bed trying to get yourself into these, you know, cellulite killing shorts.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you're such a hypocrite. Why are you here? Yeah. And it is, I don't know, I chucked them out, but, you know, it was a real kind of moment where I went, you know, we're never really free of it, totally.
No,
and it's such a daily struggle and a battle to make sure that bully in our heads doesn't bloody win.
But to catch it is you are a step ahead. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and it's hard. And also with your job, I can't even imagine, you know, like hearing when you're growing a baby and your body's changing and you're getting used to the changes and then for something like that to happen, I can't even imagine. Like, that's so brutal.
Oh, it is. It is. But man, I was just so sick at the start and I was so ravenous.
Yeah.
If it wasn't nailed down, I'd eat it.
Yeah, but, and so you
I
should.
was so hungry.